guys, welcome to Martialpreneur TV. This guest we have today, we have Richard Grannon from Street Fight Secrets. Now he's kindly come on the show to explain to us and help us understand a little bit more about teaching online and more importantly selling products online, selling digital products like DVDs, downloads, that kind of thing. I'm personally doing a lot of research into it at the moment and I think it's a very untapped market. So as we said on this interview, Richard and myself throw out a little challenge to you. If you've not already produced your own online product, to give it a go and let us know how you get on. And if it's good, Richard will put a link to the product from his site and I'll do the same on the Martialpreneur TV site. So there's a little challenge for you guys. And just before we go to the interview, I just wanted to ask you, if you're liking the show and you're enjoying it, let me know. Send me an email. It's scott@martialpreneur.tv. And just let me know your thoughts, what you like about the show, what you don't like, anyone in particular you think I should interview. And just spread the love. You know, like us on Facebook. We're on Facebook, LinkedIn. Share it about. Share it on your Facebook. Share it on your Twitter. You know, get tweeting. All right, guys. Without further ado, let's go and see what Richard has to say on the subject of information products and downloads. Okay, welcome to Martialpreneur TV. We have our latest guest today. We have Richard Grannon from Street Fight Secrets. How you doing, Richard?
Sounds a pound, mate. Thank you very much for having me on.
Nice one, nice one. Well, thanks for coming on. Now, I don't know, as I normally do with most people, if they haven't seen you, I bet if they've typed in anything to do with self-defense on YouTube, you've probably popped up there at some stage. But for those who don't do too much YouTubing, what's your background, Richie? What's your history?
The history, like martial arts history or business history, or
yeah, let's go for martial arts first. Yeah,
martial arts. Okay, I was a very wimpy kid, very passive, very shy. I like reading books and stuff, and my parents were a bit worried about me. Plus, I was growing up in Portugal in the 80s, and some of the kids had been kidnapped and stuff. So it was a bit dodgy time. So they forced me to go to karate, and I hated it. I went with a guy called Jose Verissimo. He was like a short Portuguese dude, bald with a little mustache and a goatee. I thought he was Japanese, right. Complete lunatic. So I really didn't like that. And then I did spirit combat jiu-jitsu with a guy called Jamie Lee Barron, and that was a little bit better. And then I was sent to boarding school in the UK, and obviously bullying is rife in boarding schools. And what I found was that I could beat up bullies, because they would attack me, and then because they didn't have martial arts training, but I did, I could fill them in. Right. And I was like, oh, this is actually quite cool. So at some point when I was like 13 or 14, there was a neural association created in my brain between doing training is good.
I just see where this is going. So,
yeah. So then I was like, actually, this is awesome. I'll learn more. And then my parents started clawing back the other way and going, could you stop training now, please? Because it's getting a bit out of control. I got quite obsessive with it. And then, yeah, by the time I was 21, I was like, well, how can I test if any of this stuff works? My major influence at that time said to me, well, you'll have to go and be a doorman and get into some brawls. Yeah. And I think he was saying it flippantly, like, as a joke. But I took him literally because I was a nutcase. I was a total zealot. I was like, oh, my master wants me to go and get in fights. So well, that's what I'll do.
You just do what the master says. That's it.
So, ridiculously, at like age 21 or age 22, I went from being a psychology graduate at university, done some martial arts classes, to standing on a door in Liverpool. And I remember the driving in this shitty old car. I didn't even have a tie. I didn't even have a clip-on tie. I had like a shirt, the trousers, and a badge. And I was driving there going, what the fuck am I doing? Can I swear?
Oh, you can swear, yeah. Don't worry about it.
So this is madness. You know, it's like that moment from 300. There's this dude in my brain going, this is madness. So I turn up on the door in Wood Street in Liverpool. And Wood Street, anybody who knows Liverpool, is rough.
Right.
And an old Northern Irish doorman gives me my first clip-on tie. I put it on, and I go and stand on the Camel Club, which is the hip-hop club next to Revolution. And the rest, as they say, is kind of history. I got sucked into that whole. I loved it. I loved door work with the same passion that I loved martial arts, because it was like a problem to be solved that it really appeals to that nerd side of my brain, which is like, oh, here's the puzzle, let's solve this puzzle.
Yeah.
And it involved psychology, and it involved martial arts, and it gave me the opportunity to chase girls.
Yeah.
So I loved it. I loved it.
Yeah.
To the point where other doormen would be like, there's something wrong with you, Richie, lads. You fucking enjoy this job too much. I was like, this is cool. How can you not love this? So after like 5 or 6 years of that, I got a little bit too involved in the door culture and went a bit dark.
Yeah.
And eventually, gave somebody a bit of a hiding, and I went too far. And then I had to leave the doors and I became a taxi driver, which I fucking hated. It was awful, just awful. Early mornings, dealing with horrible people all the time, and it was a real eye opener being a taxi driver, actually. Because after like 6 years on the door in Liverpool, I was like, I've seen life. I know what despair is. I know what poverty does to people. I didn't know a fucking thing until I worked around a place called New Ferry, which is the Wirral side of the northwest. And New Ferry and Rock Ferry are just not nice areas, not nice places at all. And it was a very, very humbling experience. I mean, I had quite an ego on me, because in the door work world, because I could talk, club managers loved me.
Yeah.
And I could talk my way out of more situations than other lads could, just by confusing people. Because I use all mad long words. So I would use long words. Mad long words, so I would use multi-syllabic turns of phrase, and these idiots who wanted to kill me would be like, I don't even know what you're saying, lad. So club managers like me, everybody loved me, I thought I was invincible, and then this event occurred, and I realised that, people liked me, but they didn't like me that much. They didn't want to go that far. And so I was a taxi driver for a bit, then I started working in schools. This is relevant because when I went to the schools, I had to do a lot of public speaking, which I've not done before. Public speaking for classrooms full of kids, 30 to 40 kids for 5 hours, and the kids hated me because they didn't want to do the courses that we were delivering. So door work was tough, but the first time I ever switched on my taxi radio, I was shaking with fear. After 6 years of door work, and it's quite a common, you wouldn't think it, but it's quite a common phenomenon. The first day I had to switch on my taxi radio and blow through and say, yo, I'm ready to work. I was terrified.
Really?
Oh, mate, honestly, it was a freezing cold morning in Bevington.
Yeah.
And I was out there scraping the ice off, shaking, going, oh, I must be really cold. Got in the car, and I was still like, fucking hell, I'm shaking. There was no physical threat at all. No physical threat there, but it was the fear of the unknown and fear of screwing up and of humiliation.
Yeah.
But nothing compares to standing in front of a room full of kids, like teenagers from some rough industrial town who just want you to. They want you to eat your balls. They want you to fuck up. They want to be able to go.
Exactly.
They can't wait for the teacher, the replacement teacher, to have a breakdown and start crying.
That's it. Yeah. Yeah.
That was tougher than door work. That really, really toughened me. It gave me a much thicker skin. And I was good at that as well. So for 3 years I did that. And then after that I decided I was sick of the education system. I wanted my own business. Street Fight Secrets was born out of that desperation of being desperately unhappy in the education system, because they were... what slowly happened is you progress through the ranks as a trainer. And eventually it got to the point where they wanted me to do more university work. And they wanted me to stand in front of rooms full of kids and say, if you go to university, you'll make more money. And I was like, but that's bollocks. I went to university, and loads of psychology graduates are fucking unemployed. So I had to leave. Through that desperation and being desperately unhappy, I started my own business. And as I said to you before we started recording, I had very strong opinions about martial arts.
Yeah.
Through my own training and through doing the door work. And I was a consumer. I was a client. I was the end user of martial arts products, but nobody was really producing the stuff that I wanted to see.
Yeah.
Nobody was saying what I wanted to hear. And I realised that I was going to have to produce the material I wanted to see, and that's really the birth of Street Fight Secrets.
That's how you got started out. Yeah, because it's quite a... Because what I wanted to really talk to you about was the sort of concept behind that, and how, like I said in your intro, you normally see you online on YouTube quite often. You're doing little searches and stuff for self-defense, self-protection, those kinds of things. How did you first start? Did you start a website, or did you go straight into YouTube, or was it just offline teaching students at first? Or
this will probably be good advice for you guys. Your guys are guys looking to set up business.
Yeah, so people on Martialpreneur TV are generally either people looking to start their own thing, or maybe are already doing their own thing and just want to sort of advance their knowledge, really. So we've got all sorts. We've got pros to beginners.
My thing is I've not opened a martial arts school, so it's not my thing. That isn't my side of it. But in terms of marketing and the information products, I can give some advice, and I can give you a big do not do this if you're ever thinking of creating information products. Big mistake.
Exactly, because my viewers don't know this yet, but I'm working on something where it's a little bit of information to let you know that even though you love martial arts, you don't have to open a school. You don't have to teach classes. There's other avenues that you can still do your appreciation of what you love, but you don't have to teach classes. So that would be great if you could elaborate a bit more on the information marketing side.
Absolutely. Mistake number one that I made, and that I've just seen a couple of guys make, is do not get your DVD product mass produced to the tune of 500 or 1,000 copies.
Okay.
You're not selling 500 copies. You're not. It's not happening. Forget that. Home produce or use Kunaki, which will allow you to produce one at a time, very, very cheaply.
Okay. So what was that again?
Kunaki.
Sorry.
It's called Kunaki.com.
Kunaki.com. Okay.
I've used them all. Kunaki.com is reliable in terms of postage and the production and the packaging. It's very basic and it's very, very cheap. Mm-hmm. It's like $1 per DVD, and then just your shipping on top of that. Everybody also needs to look at going download only now. People don't really expect DVDs to their door. They will pay for downloads, so that's your other option. And also, you must start by selling on eBay.
Right. Okay.
You've never sold a product online before. Don't. This is how I started. Was I didn't even have the website didn't say anything. There was nothing on it for the first couple of years. And then the first thing that was on it was a link through to an eBay store. If you've never sold anything online before, eBay is a great way to learn how to do it. Mm-hmm. eBay already has traffic, has millions of people searching on there every day. It already gives a trusted user interface, and it gives you, as the information product creator, a safe, shallow end of the swimming pool, if you like, to experiment with. Not very glamorous, not an awful lot of information product guys out there advocate doing that, but it's the safest way to start to find your feet.
I think that, like you say, it's like the shallow end of the pool, and you've also, you are selling online there, even though, if you've got to post your DVD or just do it that way, you're still getting to understand the customer relationship, the sales. It makes a lot of sense. That's a great tip.
It does. It's a great way to start out, and you can. My first £1,000 a week was made on eBay, so people shouldn't turn their noses up at it. It is time consuming. It's a real skill. It changes all the time. All these things do. Google, YouTube, eBay, they change the rules all the time. They're a pain in the ass. They hate you. They hate you when they want you to fail. They're not interested in small business owners. Not interested. No. You're not part of their, as a business strategy. We are not part of their business strategy. They don't give a shit about us. So you're up against it all the time. But it's a really great way to learn how to do it. And once you've made your first 150 quid a week clean profit on eBay in a week, you're on your way to understanding a little bit about something towards selling online.
That's great. So where would you where would you go upscaling from there? What would be your advice if you tried that, it was working well? What would you go from there?
At the same time as running your eBay, you need. I'm not massively big on social media usually because I didn't really see it work that well. But nowadays I am seeing some results from Facebook. So you need an eBay, a YouTube, and a Facebook. You need an email harvesting service. You need to create your list as soon as possible. You need to create a good long-term. Everything must be long-term. Keep your customers happy. Give them more than they paid for. Give them more value than they paid for. Nobody should ever feel ripped off. They should always be extremely grateful and saying, thank you so much, Scott, for all you gave me for the 10 quid I gave you. But yeah, they need a Facebook page, because you can sell through that. YouTube, just massively important. I didn't have a business until I really started pushing the YouTube angle. And you need your own website, you need your own brand, and everything needs to look the same. So your Facebook needs to look like your YouTube, needs to look like your website, needs to look like your email.
Okay, cool. I mean, if people haven't done it before, it sounds like it might cost a lot of money to do all these things. Now, I know the cost of all those kinds of places, a lot of it's free. I mean, did you spend a lot of money on your website, or did you just sort of bootstrap it yourself, or what did you do?
Bootstrapped. I am a professional bootstrapper.
Yeah, that's being a northern lad.
Yeah, I'm a one-man band as well because I'm a control freak. So I do video editing, graphic design, using Photoshop, absolutely everything I do myself. You don't have to do it that way. It depends on what kind of capital you've got. It's very easy to get ripped off by web designers, graphics designers. Though. Same with the video editing stuff. It doesn't really cost that much. And in the in self-defense community, nobody gives a shit. No. If your stuff is good, there's two things they will care about. They need to be able to see you properly, and if it's a shaky camera that's going to make them feel sick, they'll be pissed off. Yep. And they need to be able to hear you properly. But if the techniques are good, and you're delivering with charisma, and you're delivering with a degree of emotional intensity, then people will buy the products. They'll keep buying the product.
Content is king. You hear that a lot, so I think that sort of sums it up, doesn't it? If it's good what you're doing, it's going to help. Yeah,
definitely. And content is king is a great thing to say. I heard Dan Kennedy say this, and it's another one that's worth remembering, is make it easy to buy from you. Make it really easy for people to buy things from you. Don't hide your buy now buttons. Don't hide your products. Make it simple and clear and easy, and people will buy from you because we're all nutters for this stuff. We're lunatics for self-defense materials.
So. We love it. I'm sitting around here. I've got a DVD here. Just sitting. I just ordered the other day.
It happens, you know. I mean, this is if it's your passion. That's the great thing about working in a field that is your passion. There are two schools of thought. One says you shouldn't, and one says you should. The school that says you shouldn't says you shouldn't because you're too close to the material and it will negatively affect the way you represent yourself, which is true. But the school that says you should says that you should because you understand your customer. Never produce a product that you wouldn't buy. Always produce products that you yourself will buy and you'll be safe. So I go from the school of thought that you should be involved.
Yeah. So how has it impacted your, sort of going on a little bit, sort of selling your own products online? How has that impacted your income? Are you happy to talk about? I know not everyone wants to talk about, money or figures. You don't have to, but has that been a lot better choice than, say, for instance, your teaching career, income-wise? Is it?
No, nobody gets into self-defense for money. I mean, if you're a trainer and you want to make money right now, you'd be better off focusing on fat loss and strength and conditioning, teaching. Delivering information products online and teaching locally, you will make more money doing that. If you run an MMA circuit where people can punch a bag, swing one of those big hammers, fling a kettlebell around, you'll make more money doing that than teaching people eye gouging and headbutting. Yep. It's a very niche market. Niche marketing is overstated frequently because most of the guys who teach internet marketing have never actually run their own business. They just teach internet marketing. That's their business. So we over-exaggerate niches, self-defense, street, raw, grit, combative self-defense. is extremely niche.
Yeah.
My regular customer base is like 60 people. Well, I've been running a psychology meetup for free in Malaysia for 2 months, and my regular customer base is 60 people. Okay, so I've been running Street Fight Secrets for nearly 8 years now. So it's incredibly niche. It's a wide open market. You can make money here, but it's not. It'll never be big money.
No.
As to how much money I make, one of the things I've discovered in therapy, doing therapy with more therapy work with people recently, is it's easier to talk about sex than money.
Right.
It's actually such a taboo. Nowadays, everybody's open. They'll talk about their sexual practices. It's fine, But when it comes to money, we're all very, very secretive. And I think the reason is, as soon as you start talking about money, you're talking. It's very hard to talk about money without getting into the personal issues of somebody's life.
Sure.
So I'll give you a warning. I won't tell you about my financial situation, but I will warn you. If you're a one-man band and you run your own business, if you're sick, your business is sick.
Mm-hmm.
If you're hungover, your business is hungover. If you're motivated, your business is motivated. And so it goes.
Yeah.
There's no ceiling in the internet marketing world, so you can make a lot of money, but it's very easy to screw up if you don't have self-discipline, or if you hit an emotional roadblock or a psychological roadblock. You can also not make money very easily as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's not an easy. I don't imagine anybody watching this thinks that it is an easy to do. It's a tough thing to do.
I think when it comes to not necessarily martial arts, but just information marketing in general, there is a lot of, especially in the state side of things, they do hype up a lot of things, and it's like, I made £60 million in a minute, through one idea, and it really is like any other business, isn't it? You put in, you get out what you put in, and like you're saying there, if you're in a crappy mindset, then your business is going to be in a crappy mindset.
Your guys need to be careful buying internet marketing courses. All the information you need is free and available online if you look. The guys selling internet marketing courses, most of them are not entirely truthful. Some guys are genuine, some are not. I was given a list recently by a British internet marketing guy, and it looks like about 90% of them, the only thing they ever sold were internet marketing courses. All these things that they show you, their earnings on ClickBank and all that, they're just Photoshop doctored nonsense.
Yeah. No, you do have to be careful. I mean, it's one of the reasons why I sort of put together the martialpreneur concept, like we were talking earlier, is that when you're first starting out and you think, right, this is what I want to do, and you tend to find, especially in the martial arts world, very little information, especially like internet marketing for martial arts. There's virtually none. And what there is there is generally quite shady. So this is great listening to you. You've actually been there. You're doing it, and you can give that advice. That's fantastic.
And nobody needs to. All you need to do is look at what people are doing. I mean, they can go and check my eBay. The feedback goes back to 2005. The YouTube videos go back to 2005. I'm not a blagger, and really, you don't need to do anything. If you want a business model that works, just copy what I've done. It's all really about just copy what I'm doing. Yeah. People love a blend of psychology and martial arts. They want stuff that is applicable, that is functional, that they can use now, that will make them feel more confident. And there are certain colour schemes and certain themes and certain approaches that are more congruent with that sales pitch. And it's really as simple as that.
Absolutely. And what are your thoughts on doing live training? At the moment, I'm doing some research into, and for my own self-defense group, we've just I've been launching some live training. Have you ever had any experience with teaching you live? Because now with YouTube, you can live stream and that kind of thing. I don't know if you've had any experience with that.
The last time I looked into it 6 months ago, my YouTube Street Fight Secrets account was not in good standing.
Right.
So they refused me to do that. But I am in good standing now. So it is possible. I would look into it. All the gurus tell you that it's a good thing to do and that it attracts customers. So it could be a very good thing to do. You can get it up and running through Google Hangouts, I think.
I mean, I've experimented a little bit with Google Hangouts and not done a live class just yet, but it seems a good feedback, and I like the idea that students can talk and have live Q&A, and it's
Yeah.
quite a good idea. So I was just wondering whether you'd had any experience with that yet.
Not yet, not as yet. I think it would be fun. It'd be fun to experiment with. I would probably small scale it. Just have maybe just one meat puppet demo person in a room,
Yep.
and then
Meat
maybe
puppet.
just a few students asking questions, and then just see how it goes. See what happens.
That's cool. Yeah, I'm gonna document my experiences with that, and I'll throw it up online and see how it goes in the future. So yeah, that's cool. So any other advice that you give for anyone looking to put their name out there online and sell online?
I would say pick a concept, pick a direction. Don't give people what you want to give them. Give people what they want. Remember that it's a tough world, the business world. I think one of the first rules of selling is, you've got to remember nobody really gives a shit about you.
Yeah.
You have to make them care. They don't care about your story. They don't care about how hard you're trying. Their whole customer mindset is, what's in it for me?
Mm-hmm.
And if you supply solutions that are the things that people are looking for, then they will give you money for that. And really, it needs to stay as simple as that. Anything that strays away from that, you're probably disappearing up your own bum. And you won't make any money.
Yeah.
You might get lots of Facebook likes and lots of YouTube subscribers, but that does not equal money in the bank.
No, it's not until someone pays, then it's you're onto something that is good.
And there's a six step chain. There's like 6 different elements of the chain. Every single element of the chain has to be in place in order for you to have an idea, and then for that idea to manifest as cash in the PayPal account.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So obviously you're quite knowledgeable, and like we said, you're actually doing it, which is a great thing. Is there any training that you did do internet marketing wise, other than the free stuff, that was helpful? Or
There was an internet marketing course by a guy called Corey Riddell, who sadly passed away young, became a millionaire, and then raced cars around a speed track and died doing that, sadly.
Okay.
But this was in the days when I barely used the internet, even send emails, so I literally knew nothing. And he taught on that course, I'm going back 8 years now,
right,
stuff that was revelationary to me, but you can get on YouTube on free webinars. There's a good YouTube clip called "The Pillars of Internet Marketing," delivered by a Scottish gentleman. It's 3 years old, but most of what he says is as relevant today as it was 3 years ago to absolute beginners. That's a good place to start. The Pillars of Internet Marketing.
Cool, excellent. Well, that's great. I mean, thanks for sharing those tips with us. That is real food for thought there. And I know because I know lots of people that they do train and they teach, and sometimes it's not really the right fit for you. It's not for everyone teaching classes in a traditional school type of environment. Where you set up your club and teach classes, and I think like I said, there's likes of yourself and quite a few others that are online, teaching and selling products and building a business that is equally as valuable as any offline business, if not more so in some cases, and I think not many people have switched onto that just yet, and I think it's still...
It seems a terrible shame. If you've got a gym and you've got students and you're running a class, it seems a terrible shame to not at least have 3 or 4 half-hour long video tutorials that people could buy for £7, $11, and just start small. I mean, I think for most people, maybe they imagine it has to be some huge multi-million-dollar empire. Start with something small. Just sell 1 or 2 tutorials and see how it goes.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, that's a challenge then off of this video. We'll get anyone. Let us know if you decide, right, sod it, I'm gonna do my first video. I'm gonna put it up for sale. Let us know, and then maybe you'll come back on, Richard, have a look at it and say what you think.
I would. I mean, it's the type of thing I'll buy if it's very, very strongly targeted. If they're like, right, this is street stuff, then I would buy it, and people like me will buy it. And Tim Ferriss, I saw in an interview recently, Tim Ferriss, the guy who
awesome. I'm obsessed with Tim Ferriss.
You like him? Cool.
It's really weird obsession I have with Tim Ferriss, man.
He said if you've got a product that you think is so niche, it will only apply to 1,000 people in the whole wide world. He said, run with it, because it's probably more like 10 million.
Yeah.
You don't, who are left-handed, communist, lesbian golfers.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. And the thing is, there is the also the thing which I got from Tim Ferriss as well, is that when it is really niche, I mean, like you say, I mean, it can be very niche, like yourself. There's not that many customers, but you can generally charge more than an average product, because there's no one supplying it. There's no one there actually in doing that. So you're rare, and rare things, are justifiably, you can charge a bit more. I'm not saying rip people off, because it's unique, but you don't have to fulfil so many sales. Then you don't have to think, oh my god, I need 1,000 £1 sales, when you could just do like 4 sales for £250 each. It's you don't have to be this huge turning over mass production machine.
No, not at all. Not at all. And the internet marketing world really allows us to do that. Such a great tool we've got at our fingertips now. We're really spoiled nowadays.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm sitting here now. I mean, I've got a laptop. It's got a camera on it. I've got a microphone, but it's got a built-in microphone, and that's your office. That's your production centre. That's that you can be where there's an internet connection and do your thing.
Exactly.
Yeah. Hey, Richard, it's been fantastic talking to you. I won't hold you for too long, because we've been nattering before this as well.
No problem.
You're probably like, I've got to get to work now. Where can people find out more about you, Richard? What's your sites at Street Fight Secrets?
It's streetfightsecrets.com. My email is richie@streetfightsecrets.com, or they can add me on Skype just by looking up Richie Grannon Street Fight Secrets. Always happy to talk to people if they're looking for advice, whether it's martial arts or business related. I'm quite happy to sit and talk to people if they need a bit of help. That's fine.
That's awesome. Well, thank you very much. And if we get some questions, or we've got some examples of anyone who's bit the bullet and gone, right, I'm gonna action this today.
If they do, anybody who does bite the bullet and action it, I will put a link on my website, and that guarantees you a little surge of traffic. I'll tell my list and point them in your direction. So that's my challenge to you.
Yes, nice. I'll do the same. So I'm in there as well.
Nice.
Do the same. I'll match that. So that's cool. Hey, thank you very much, Richard. And
right.
hope to speak to you soon.
Cool. See you later.
Thanks, man.